to trip into me. Oh! Greetings, YouTube. Yeah, I've warped way back into the WGS Arcade. We're back with more boob Tenshi. And on the last episode, apparently there were no adverse side effects for Kenji going through the time window. Kyo kind of opened up about how emotional she was about the whole situation and what her friendship, her friendship meant to her with Kenji. Then they played games, and then now we're off to bed. Wait, what is that supposed to mean? Whatever you wanted to. Now, bed. She guided me to my room before gently closing the doors. I stepped over to my bed and collapsed onto it, still fully clothed, more exhausted than I had realized. It turned out time traveling drained more energy from me than I initially thought. Oh. You all did quite well yesterday. Thank you, Commander. We're doing our best to make your goals a reality. Keep up the good work. Now that we have all the information we need, we merely need to shift gears into Phase 2. Just lay low for a few days, both of you. We will be able to enact Project Paradox very soon. Yes, Commander. She seems to be in good spirits. All the pieces are falling together exactly as they need to. And when the time is right, we'll be able to put our theory to the test. But don't you find what she is planning to be a tad cruel? Cruelty is subjective. If it's in the name of science, then risk must be taken, even if lives are sacrificed in the process. Whatever you say, Mizuki. I wonder what that was about. I walked to the smell of something sweet wafting into my nose. Is it wafting or wafting? I'm going to go with wafting. I'm still getting used to this bed. I stood stretching my back when not long after a knocking was heard from my door. Come in? The door swung open, revealing Rose, smiling happily. Hello there, sleepyhead. Ready for breakfast? I could use a hand in the kitchen. Of course. So what's on the menu this morning, Rose? Well, I was thinking either Belgian waffles or scones. But if you wanted to go old-fashioned, I could whip you up a stack of flapjacks as well. Pancakes? Yes, Kenji, pancakes. Right, duh. Hey, come on, I could use another hand. I was making some for Michelle, since she hadn't left the lab since earlier this morning. What has she been up to? The same old, making sure everything is up and running at top-notch speed. She keeps this operation running sometimes, I swear. Now then, hand me those eggs over there. Right, gotcha. For a while, we just exchanged small talk back and forth, cooking with smiles on our faces as I slowly woke up. I could tell there was a look of worry on Rose's face, however. Rose, is everything all right? Huh? Oh, everything is just fine, Kenji. Don't worry. I was just ruminating over some things. Such as? Oh, Kenji, you don't need to worry. They are such trivial matters. Rose, look, I'm here for everyone in this lab, alright? I don't want you worrying about me. Oh, it's not about that, silly. I know you're fine. You're up and walking and talking just fine. Oh, then what's up? I, think I need to do some recalculations with the time window. How so? My, brassiere has been a bit tight lately. I think my bosom has grown a tad bit within the past week. Oh, her face went a deep pink hue as I could tell by the heat in my own that it was doing the same. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said anything. It's just sometimes I worry that the time window's effects are more long-term than short-term, and that all of these trips are slowly adding up for the future. Have you ever discussed this with any of the other girls? With my grandpa? No, after all, this could all be natural anyway. I could still be developing on my own. Still? My outburst seemed to put her off, embarrassing her further, making her look off to the side. I tried to recover quickly. I mean, they're already, I know, Kenji, they're massive. And when I go through the time window, they just get... She put her hands to them, lifting each one alternatively to emphasize her awareness of their size. I don't know if I can ever handle such a giant size permanently. I mean, you deal with them through the time window. Yes, but that's because I've only had them for a short while. Even in the small time through there, my back aches, my shoulders strain. I don't want to complain about such superficial things, but this is my body that's constantly warping and changing every time I go through the time window. And... oh, the flapjacks! Rose turned suddenly on her heel to the sound. Unfortunately, I was a bit too close to her, causing her to trip into me. Oh! Boobs in the face! Boobs in the face! We both fell to the floor, tumbling all the way down, with me landing on top of Rose, my face directly between her boobs. I kept it there for a moment, my brain not registering what was going on, then registering what was going on and not registering who it was for some reason, and then finally... oh gosh, Rose! I backed my head up so quickly that I whipped my head into the metal oven behind me, smacking it so hard that I let out a metal wham. Kenji, oh goodness, are you okay? Despite the recent events, Rose was still by my side, looking at the back of my head as I rubbed it with my hand tenderly. Yeah, that was just wasn't the best plan to put my face. It's fine, Kenji. I mean, you could have done much worse while you were there. We both looked at each other, me on top of Rose, before we slowly started to laugh. Half out of nerves and half out of the awkwardness of the situation. Just as the laughing fit reached its end, I looked up the doorway and saw someone. Having fun, you two? Grandpa, this isn't, Hey, I get that you're both young, but please try to at least be quiet about it. Tensei, it's not like that. Whatever you say, dear. Now then, are those flapjacks burning, or is my nose just not working right today? Oh gosh! Rose ran into a fit of motions, rushing over to the oven. Just as she opened it, a plume of smoke blasted into her face, causing her to cough. Are you okay, Rose? Just fine, Kennedy. Are you sure, dear? She nodded, waving away the smoke from her face. Alright, well, I need Kenji to be over in the lab for a bit. Michelle wanted to have a word with him real quick before the next time window trip. She nodded again and gave a thumbs up, still getting a few coughs out. I was a bit reluctant, but I agreed, promising to spend more time with her after I was through with my business with Michelle. Wanted to see me, Michelle? Yes, Kenji, I wanted to ask you if you were feeling alright. After all, going through a time window isn't necessarily a safe thing to do when untested. I feel fine, actually. You haven't tested on male subjects before? Most subjects we tested in the time window's early stages, regardless of gender, tended not to survive for long after their trip. Ooh. Worry not, Kenji. They showed many signs of health decline immediately upon their return. I'm not one to trust with these matters anyhow. Kyo is a medical expert of the facility. I just work with the technology. About that, how long did it actually take you to create the time window device? And how does it actually work? Explaining the time window isn't necessarily a simple thing to do. In fact, it's near impossible to do in layman's terms, so let me think for a moment. She sat back in her chair, her legs crossed, tapping her foot against the ground, and thought. I merely stood there, watching her, letting her think. It was only a while later that I realized that I was staring at her legs as they tapped, and she seemed to take notice midway through her thoughts. Like what you see, Kenji? Oh, what? Oh, man, I'm sorry, Michelle, Oh, don't play coy with me here, Kenji. Don't think I haven't noticed you getting all cozy with the other girls while I'm toiling away here in the lab. You're a bit green for me. But I wouldn't say you're completely out of your league. Michelle, what are you saying? You are one of the most dense guys I have ever had the pleasure of speaking to. You're in a lab with 3 hot girls who have been basically throwing themselves at you, and you still haven't gotten any action? Just how dumb are you? Hey, look, Michelle, just because I'm a guy doesn't mean... Yeah, say me the man doesn't just think with his crotch lecture. If you switched out any other guy in your position, regardless of how nerdy they were, they would have seen some sort of action by now. Yes, that's true. That is 100% true. So, she stood walking slowly and seductively towards me, adjusting her top and fidgeting with her belt. I am throwing an opportunity in your lap right now, Kenji, and it's up to you to take it. So, Shell, I'm a guy. It's obvious that in any other circumstance, I wouldn't hesitate for a second, but we're in a lab, my grandfather's lab, with 2 other girls around. My parents died 3 days ago, and I'm not exactly in the best place mentally. Also, I barely have any idea who you are, aside from the fact that your dress is incredibly risque for your type of work. Judgmental little sap, aren't we? Look, it's just that... Before I could finish my sentence, Michelle swiftly pulled out a cane from behind her and tripped up my legs, causing me to fall to the ground. Oh. Once she was there, she sat on top of me, straddling me by the abdomen. And looking at this nice view, we're going to go ahead and call it an episode, and when we come back to the arcade, we're going to see what Michelle has to say. So with that being said, I'm your friendly neighborhood Wrestlegamer, and I will see you at the next Warp Zone. Bye, guys! Sometimes I wish I just had a gamer girlfriend with blue hair, big boobs.